Hello everyone, I'm back at the National Army Museum's Reserves Collection in Stevenage today, and we're going to be looking at, in this video, we're going to be looking at this rather unusual prototype entrenching tool. Now, the details of this are a little bit sketchy. It is War Department marked. We'll have a look at the markings on here in just a moment. It also has markings for 1 to 6 inches along the handle here as well, so it really is a multi-tool. It's designed to do a multitude of things. As it's set up here, you can see that it's basically forming a hatchet. So you have a blade here which you can use exactly as you would do with a hatchet. It's good and solid. This blade also rotates, so if I take this pin out here, rotate it, it does come off. If I rotate it, put the pin back in, it forms a mattock, so you can wield it like that. It does also have this pick head at the back here. If I take this pin out here, which is a little stiff, but it does come out, there we go. That rotates up, put the pin back in, and you have this sort of classic pick mattock that you get with the 1908 pattern entrenching tool, the 2-part 1908 pattern entrenching tool. So it fulfills that sort of standard role as we'd expect from the 2-part entrenching tool. In addition to that, we've already seen it will work as a hatchet as well. If we unfasten this pin here, you also have another fitting here. This notch allows this to be used as a wire cutter. You can insert a wire there, and if you manipulate the pick head in that direction, it should, in theory, cut the wire. You also have a set of grips here, meaning that this pick head can be used, and you can use the handle, so you could potentially grip something with that, a nut, something of that nature, and use it as a wrench, as a spanner, or almost like a set of mole grips, as we might see today. Putting the pin back in there, that locks the pick head back into its locked position. I force that down there, there we go. And as already mentioned, looking along the shaft of this here, you can see that there's actually inch markings along there. So it's a really interesting little multi-purpose tool. Now, it is War Department marked, it's dated 1909, just up here. We'll get a close-up of that now, you'll be able to see the markings. This is marked Willow Patent Tool. You can see the WD stamp and broad arrow down in the bottom right there. And then the patent number in the centre, and then the date of 09. And this was patented by William MacDonald Mackintosh and Tom Walton. And there is also another War Department stamp and broad arrow to the rear of this section as well. So unfortunately, the details of any trials conducted with this and how it was received and why it wasn't adopted is not recorded, or certainly isn't known at this point, not to the National Army Museum anyway. Someone out there may have more information, may have come across something possibly referring to a tool like this in reading up. If anyone does have any more information on this, I'd be interested to hear for a start. It's certainly an interesting little bit of kit. It was not introduced, obviously. 1909, it didn't then go on to replace the 2-part entrenching tool, of course. But it's nevertheless a very interesting early example of a tool designed to do a lot of different things, quite an interesting multi-tool. And would have been quite useful, I think. I'm not sure how effective the wire cutters would have been, but this idea of having sort of the ability to use it as an adjustable spanner or a wrench there seems quite a sensible idea, and I imagine that would have been relatively effective in some situations. But there it is, a 1909 dated prototype entrenching tool. Hopefully you found it interesting looking at this. If you have and you'd like to see more from the channel, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, little notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to see more from the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as ever, a massive thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those 2 methods. It's greatly appreciated, as I always say. Thank you all very much indeed. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there is of course an email address down there as well. That's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.